Hello, my fellow Alaskans. Welcome to the second broadcast today. We are just about ready to begin the second part of our House official swearing-in ceremony for the second 32nd legislative session. Thank you all for joining us here today. We are live. We've got the Alaska House official swearing-in ceremony that is just about ready to begin. I know I'm not wearing my customary hat that I normally have on at this point, but, things happen. I figured this was a very fitting shirt to wear today, just because it kind of shows where our nation is at the moment. With we got to fight for our rights out there, and we got to really work hard to make sure that they don't get eroded away with the new incoming administration into the House of Alaska. And it's going to get really interesting with Joe Biden being sworn in tomorrow. I mean, his controversial picks, who he's put in charge of his administration, bringing back lots and lots of the old guard that basically were bad for our country to begin with. When you hear names like Susan Rice being thrown out there being a part of his administration right now, we all know what she did. Come on now. Come on, man. Anyways, we're here today because the Alaska House of Representatives is about ready to start their swearing-in ceremony, and they are only broadcasting this on Gavel to Gavel. So if you don't get Gavel to Gavel, you'll never get to see this if you don't go to their website and actually go and replay the videos that they run there. You won't get it if you don't subscribe to a television live stream service that has Gavel on it. You'll never get to see it, which is kind of where I'm at right now. I don't have a television service that has Gavel to Gavel actually on it. So the only way I get to watch Gavel anymore is to go to their actual website and watch it there, because it's the only available means to see it. They're not live streaming any of these events. They have already voted to remotely do their legislation this year, which is what they should have done 10 months ago, 11 months ago, back in March when they were still in office, but they chose not to. Had to recall themselves back to Juneau just to have a special session to pass the CARES Act money out. This is the kind of hypocrisy of that we're working with within our government. The Senate majority has already been formed. The Senate president will be Senator Pete Micciche. He is now the president of the Senate, and the House majority leader, from what has been announced, is Senator Shelley Hughes. Going to be really interesting to see who they make up as the part of the Rules Committee and everything else. I looked at who's making up the majority coalition out there for the Senate, and I'm seeing a lot of the same players that eroded our rights away in the last few years being put right back up in charge again. Now the House is about ready to start. I want to highlight Chris Tuck, Representative Chris Tuck. He has a bill filed for our elections that is going to eliminate the requirement to have a signature verification on the outside, to make it permanent for any of those people out there that want to have mail-in voting, to make it permanent so that they can just don't have to renew it anymore. Once you've done it, you're done for life. Basically, all of the safeguards that we have had put into place that our judicial branch unilaterally decided without the consent of our legislators or governor eroded away this year, that made our elections what they were, because this was nationwide, this was happening. And so we're going to start here today. I'm going to flip channels here real quick, get this live broadcast going so that you can see what is going on. Lots of controversial bills being pushed coming out of the House. No surprise, looking at the old guard that is still there. Still has no clear House majority of who's going to be running things. I'm suspecting, just like the past years, the rhinos there are going to side with the Democrats, and there's going to be a Democrat majority running the House, just like we've seen the last couple of years under Bryce Edgman's rule. His iron fist there had to switch parties to make it Knopp and all of those others that had joined together to form that coalition of the illegal binding caucus that they have. And same thing with the Senate. They got the illegal binding caucus. It's going to really be interesting to see if they actually form one this year with the majority that they have put together there. All right, I think I better go and hurry up and go check, make sure this thing hasn't started so that we all can partake in the swearing in of the House of Representatives here in Alaska. P.S. Everybody out there, do not forget to like and share. Facebook hates it when you like and share things because that means more people get to see this video, more people get to partake in what is going on. And they really do dislike those kind of things happening. Please go to my website, www.politadick.com. Click that support button. Every penny's going right back into pushing, making sure that we can get live streaming to all media channels out there. We want to be able, when we go live, to be on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, you name the social media channel that you can live stream to. We want to go live to all of them at the exact same time. But those kind of services take money, something that I need your support, your help to be able to accomplish. It's as simple as making a $5 donation every single month, going there and just clicking that button, and $5 goes a long way. We get 10 people doing that a month. I go live on all these channels, guaranteed. And that's how simple it can be. That's how easy it can possibly be to be able to make this happen. So please don't hesitate. Go to my website, www.politadick.com, or just politadick.com. Click that donate button, and again, every penny goes right back into making sure we keep expanding our broadcasts and our services that we are providing to all of you out there. Looks like they were doing the same thing that the Senate had done a little earlier. They are wasting our time. They're supposed to start at exactly 1 o'clock. It is past 1 o'clock. I'm just waiting to see that gavel swing. They look at least a little bit more organized than the Senate was, considering how many people that they actually have to swear in here today. Compared to the Senate, it was just a small handful that was brand new starting out there. Here in the House, on the other hand, it's a completely different story. Looks like they're about ready to actually start this thing. The Gavel's reception for this is just absolutely atrocious. I'm watching what is on my computer screen right now versus what I'm seeing here on the screen in front of me, and it's definitely two different stories. There's constantly shadowing in and out. Oh, looks like they're starting.
It's good to see everybody again. Welcome. Pursuant to the provisions of the Constitution of the State of Alaska, Alaska Statute 2405160, and the uniform rules of the Alaska State Legislature, the House of Representatives assembled here for the first regular session of the 32nd Legislature is hereby called to order. Representative Laban, will you please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance? Please remain standing. Representative Solkowski, I believe you're doing the prayer.
Dear Lord, as we gather today, we thank you for bringing us safely together from all corners of Alaska, and for the well-being of all the people around us who make this work possible. We thank you that amidst differences in our home communities, families, life experiences, and perspectives, we find commonality in a call to public service and working on behalf of this place we love. In this time of great division and conflict in our nation, of historic decisions and challenges before our state, we humbly ask for guidance and wisdom as we begin our work together. As families around the state and our country continue to grieve the untimely and tragic loss of loved ones or balance the hardships posed by the global pandemic, we pray for peace and comfort. And we again humbly ask for focus and compassion so that we are able to make difficult and at times courageous decisions in love of neighbor. As we convene the 32nd Legislature, may we remember that the work we do reaches beyond the boundaries of our districts. Lord, help us to remember the poignant words of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. in his 1963 letter from Birmingham jail, in which he writes, "Moreover, I am cognizant of the interrelatedness of all communities and states. We are caught in an inescapable network of mutuality, tied in a single garment of destiny. Whatever affects one directly affects all indirectly. We thank you again for the gift of today and lift all of these things to you. Amen."
Please be seated. Representative Zolkowski, thank you very much for the invocation on today, the opening day of the 32nd Legislature. Representative Tuck, do you want to spread the prayer?
Thank you, Mr. Lieutenant Governor. I would like to spread that wonderful prayer across the journal.
Okay. All right. Without objection, the prayer shall be spread on the journal. Okay. I will now read the certificate of election from the State of Alaska Division of Elections. I, Gail Funumii, Director of Division of Elections for the State of Alaska, do hereby certify that in accordance with the provisions of AS 15-15450, a general election was held on the third day of November 2020 in the state of Alaska pursuant to AS 15-15020, and the following are the certified results for the office designated. House District 1, Barton S. Laban. House District 2, Stephen M. Thompson. House District 3, Glenn M. Prex. House District 4, Grier Hopkins. House District 5, Adam L. Wool. House District 6, Mike Crunk. House District 7, Christopher Kirka. House District 8, Kevin J. McCabe. House District 9, George Raucher. House District 10, David Eastman. House District 11, Delana Johnson. House District 12, Kathy L. Tilton. House District 13, Ken McCarty. House District 14, Kelly R. Merrick. House District 15, David Nelson. House District 16, Ivy Sponholtz. House District 17, Andrew L. Josephson. House District 18, Harriet A. Drummond. House District 19, Garen Tarr. House District 20, William Z. Fields. House District 21, Matt W. Clayman. House District 22, Sarah Rasmussen. House District 23, Chris Tuck. House District 24, Thomas W. McKay. House District 25, Calvin R. Schrage. House District 26, Laddie Shaw. House District 27, Elizabeth Hodges Snyder. House District 28, James Kaufman. House District 29, Benjamin E. Carpenter. House District 30, Ronald D. Gillum. House District 31, Sarah L. Vance. House District 32, Louise B. Stutz. House District 33, Sarah T. Hannon. House District 34, Andrew Story. House District 35, Jonathan Christ Tompkins. House District 36, Daniel H. Ortez. House District 37, Bryce Edgman. House District 38, Tiffany Zolkowski. House District 39, Neil W. Foster. House District 40, this is the one I've been waiting on, Josiah Putkutak. Is that pretty good? All right, thank you. Okay, in testimony whereof I have hereto set my hand and affix hereto the seal of the state of Alaska at Juneau, the capital, this 30th day of November, AD 2020. Gail Funumii, Director, Division of Elections. Okay, so in an effort to comply with the policy set forth by the Ledge Council and to minimize the number of people, the number of members on the floor at one given time, we're going to begin taking your oath of office in shifts. So will and I believe there's dots on the floor where they want you to stand so that you're all socially distanced, and the pages will help you as well. Will the following representatives and representative-elect please come forward for your oath of office? House District 1, Barton S. Laban. House District 2, Steve M. Thompson. House District 3, Glenn M. Prax. House District 4, Grier Hopkins. House District 5, Adam L. Wool. House District 6, Mike Crunk. House District 7, Christopher Kirka. House District 8, Kevin J. McCabe. House District 9, George Raucher. House District 10, David Eastman. So the rest of the members, you're welcome to stay in your seats, or you're welcome, if you want to go to your office, you can go to your office as well. So with that, we'll take a brief at ease. Please come back to order. We will now administer your oath. So please raise your right hand and repeat after me, inserting your name after the word I. I do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Alaska. And that I will faithfully discharge my duties as State Representative. To the best of my ability. Congratulations, representatives. There you go. Congratulations, representatives. You can clap here if you want to. Okay, also there are 2 copies of the oath on your desk. It's a little different than in the past where you would come up to my office and sign the oath. You sign them here. 1 copy is for your records and 1 copy is for my records. And the pages will come around and pick up the signed oaths once they're completed. So let's take an at ease.
Look at how fast they are able to get things done and accomplished. That's just the first 10. We've got almost 40 districts that need to be sworn in today. So it's going to be a little while they do this shuffle. As legislators, as you can see, they said that if you didn't feel comfortable sitting inside of the room there, that you could go back to your offices and go and sit. This is what they consider being a forthwith making sure that we get to participate as Alaskans in what they are doing there. Just a small reminder, they're only going to allow 1 press to be inside of the room at any time. Their press conferences are supposed to be set up the same way. All press is going to be done by remote. And only 1 of the actual press will be allowed to be present when they are doing anything out there. There is roughly, from what I saw, 100 pre-filed bills that are out there. 50% of them have absolutely nothing to do with furthering Alaska's future, but has a lot to do with restricting what we are going to be able to do in the future. So be very, very vigilant this year in paying attention to what they're trying to do and pass with inside Juneau halls. This is the most detrimental year that we have ever seen. The Alaska Senate majority has been formed. They have elected for president Senator Pete Micciche as the leader of the president of the Senate. The House majority, or the Senate majority leader, is going to be Senator Shelley Hughes, and it's going to be really interesting to see how that all works out in the Senate, looking at some of the people that they have chosen already that are in that majority. I am worried that we're going to get Senator Natasha von Imhoff back as chair inside of the Finance Committee, and that'll be just one more time for them to make things more difficult. This is nothing more than a photo opportunity for them going on there. Let's see if they're saying anything relevant. No, they're just moving in the next people for the next swearing in. Should start up here shortly. I'm going to go ahead and go silent on my end and just let you watch what's going on. What normally would take just a few minutes to be able to do, like the Senate had accomplished earlier, they're not doing the same thing in the House. They're shuffling them out to their offices and back in again, notifying them when they are to come back in so that they can be sworn in. This is really ridiculous. This is a prime showing of what we're going to be looking at for our legislators this year in Juneau. I'm not expecting much different than what we see here happening on the screen right now. Absolutely nothing but people standing around when they're in front of us and having to wait for them to either walk into the room or however they plan on doing this future sessions. I don't see them having Zoom type setups for their remote legislation that they're planning on doing this year, to where you can watch them on video as they are talking, being presented as they are gone. Oh, it looks like they might finally have them all back into the room again. Hey, no dancing and singing. No dancing and singing allowed. You gotta stop doing that. It's illegal. Haven't you heard? No dancing and singing, tar. It's just not allowed.
House, please come back to order. And will the following representatives please come forward to take the oath of office? Delana Johnson, District 11. District 12 is Kathy L. Tilton. District 13, Ken McCarty. District 14, Kelly R. Merrick. House District 15, David Nelson. House District 16, Ivy Sponholtz. House District 17, Andrew L. Josephson. House District 18, Harriet A. Drummond. House District 19, Garen Tarr. And House District 20, William Z. Fields. Okay, so we have everybody here. If you would, please raise your right hand and repeat after me, inserting your name after the word I. I do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Alaska. Okay, and that I will faithfully discharge my duties as state representative. To the best of my ability. Okay. Congratulations, representatives. Okay. All right, good job. So there's 2 copies of the oath on your desk, and if you would sign them both, one will be for your records, one is for my records. And with that, we'll take a brief at ease.
The shuffle now continues. They work their way, getting all those that just took the oath to sign their documents that they agree with the oath. Then they're going to shuffle out of the room because of COVID requirements and go back to their offices so that the next group of 10 legislators can be shuffled back in. I would like to make notes here that currently, from what is being rumored out there, we've got 4 of the Republican rhinos that are going to be moving over to the majority with the Democrats, and the only one that has been 100% confirmed at this point is Representative Louise Stutes. She has already promised and sworn up and down she is 100% on the Democrat agenda and will not be siding with the Republicans. Currently, they have a 20-20 split with inside of the House. I still don't think they have set themselves up with a majority yet. I don't expect any announcements of hearing that happening today. We'll have to wait and see what happens if anything further comes to light beyond what has been reported so far. On another note, we've got the capital, the nation's capital, down in D.C., is currently under siege by 25,000 Alaskan National Guardsmen. 100 of them are from Alaska. That, from what I've been told, is that Joe Biden couldn't find anybody to show up to his inauguration, and they didn't want to make it look like no one was there, so they went and planted 200,000 flags, American flags, out onto the lawn out in front of the Capitol to make it look like Americans are actually agreeing with his agenda. This is one of the most blatant examples of tyranny, dictatorship, oligarchy of the elite, whatever label you may want to give it, that is happening down in the Capitol right now. They've completely taken away our First Amendment rights to either protest or go out there and show our support for the new administration coming in. It was okay for 10 months of rioting, looting, burning down federal buildings, burning down police stations, attacking and killing our police for 10 long months for Antifa, the Black Lives Matter, and the Democrats, to far-left Democrats, to do all of that. But the minute that there is a similar altercation that happens one time from the other side, we now have 25,000 National Guardsmen sitting down there, where we have been begging and pleading these states to pull in the National Guardsmen to stop all the rioting, looting, burning of our businesses, our capital, our federal buildings, our police stations, the killing of innocent children, the killing of innocent police officers, coming up and shooting them back behind the head. We've lost so many people this year, and it's just unreal, the hypocrisy of what we're seeing going on in all of our branches, to where now we've got people trying to get Representative David Eastman removed from office. There's 10 very far left-wing organizations that have all championed and joined together to make that happen. And they're working hard to try to get him to resign. Looks like they might be starting back up here. No, they're still getting ready. Looks like they're really close, though. This group has come in a lot quicker from their offices somewhere within the Juneau there, inside of the Capitol building. But again, with Rep. David Eastman, they've targeted him. They demanded he resign just because he went to D.C. and was joining the very civil, very extremely peaceful protest that was happening.
House, please come back to order, and will the representatives and representatives-elect from District 21 through 30 take their place on the House floor to accept their oaths of office. So everyone is here. Let's start with House District 21, Matt W. Clayman. House District 22, Sarah Rasmussen. House District 23 is Chris Tuck. House District 24 is Thomas W. McKay. House District 25, Calvin R. Schrage. Yep. House District 27, Laddie Shaw. House District 27, Elizabeth Hodges Snyder. And House District 28, James Kaufman. House District 29, Benjamin E. Carpenter. And House District 30, Ronald D. Gillum. So everyone is here. And if you would, at this time, then please raise your right hand and repeat after me, inserting your name after the word I. I. Good. Do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Alaska, and that I will faithfully discharge my duties as state representative to the best of my ability. All right, congratulations, representatives. Okay, so you'll see two copies of the oath on your desk. Please sign both. One is for your records and one is for mine. Unfortunately, we won't do the signing in my office. You're welcome, though, to come up for a picture later, and we'll pretend like we're signing. And just leave them on your desk, the pages, then we'll come around and pick them up. So with that, let's take a brief at ease while you sign your oaths.
All right, shuffle out one group, shuffle in the next group, signing their swearing-in ceremony, guaranteeing that they're going to live by the United States Constitution and our late Alaska State Constitution. We've seen how well that's worked out the last 6 or so years for them actually following our statutes and laws that we have. Pick and choose when they want them to apply and when they don't want them to apply. Don't forget to like and share this video. You will not see this on mainstream media unless you are able to get Gavel to Gavel on your television set. Other than that, you have to go to KTOO's website to see this exact same broadcast happening on theirs. Except for you won't get the great commentary that I give in their at eases. This is going to be one interesting year to see what happens, how the House is going to actually line up. Who are they going to pick to be the majority and the majority leaders? Those who are going to be the ones in charge of the agenda of what is going to happen this year. Louise Stutes has already promised that she is going to caucus with the Democrats and has caused a 2020 split there in the House between parties, so they still have not made an actual majority yet of where they're going to align at. If we get lucky, several of the Democrats align over into the Republican corner of the House for a change, and we actually get ourselves some representation there that will actually represent Alaskans, not just the special interests. The illegal binding caucus rule, from what I'm understanding, will not be applying in the Senate. At least it isn't at this point. But the House has not ruled that out yet. From everything I've heard coming from the House, it's going to be business as usual for them. Don't forget about House Bill 300/306, the one that I call 6 plans to steal the permanent fund dividend, the PFD, from us permanently. Those 6 plans are all on the table. They are talking about revisiting the POMV and the draw. They do not look like they're going to allow us Alaskans to have a vote on the future of our permanent fund dividend. They do not look like they're going to want to enshrine it into our Constitution like we have been begging them to do for 3 years now, some of us even longer, 6 years. This is just another year of watching them play political games with our lives in Juneau, refusing to do what's needed, like cut the budget. Instead, they have increased the budget every single year. They have taken more of our permanent fund dividend every single year. $3.1 billion is what they withdrew out of the permanent fund last year to fund government. We got to see a whole $600 million, and by the way, it did not come from our permanent fund dividend. It was not given through the ERA, that transfer of that $3.1 billion. Instead, they used tax revenue to pay us our permanent fund dividend. So that $3.1 billion, look at the record amount that they took from it, all went to pay for government. Not a penny of that money came to us Alaskans. The money that we saw in our that we saw come from them came from tax revenue and no other place. This was the second year in a row they have made this happen, completely ignoring the statutory PFD law that has been on the books for 4 decades now. They instead enshrine, they're going to start again. Here we go.
Please come back to order, and will the representatives from District 31 through District 40 please come forward to take your oath of office. And the representatives and representatives-elect are House District 31, Sarah L. Vance. House District 32, Louise B. Stutes. House District 33, Sarah T. Hannon. House District 34, Andrea Story. House District 35, Jonathan Christ Tompkins. House District 36, Daniel H. Ortez. House District 37, Bryce Edgman. House District 38, Tiffany Solkowski. House District 39, Neil W. Foster. And House District 40, Josiah Putkutuk. Okay, everyone is here, so if you would, please raise your right hand and repeat after me, inserting your name after the word I. I do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Alaska. And that I will faithfully discharge my duties as state representative. To the best of my ability. Congratulations, representatives. Okay, representatives, now there are 2 copies of the oath on your desk, so if you would please sign both of them. One is for you to keep, and one is for me. As you probably remember, normally we come to my office and sign the oath, and we have a big reception with cookies and punch, but we're not doing that this year. You can still come to my office for a photo, but sign the oaths here at your desk, and then just leave both copies on your desk. The pages, well, you take your copy, leave the other copy for me, and the pages will come around and pick them up. And with that, we will stand at ease.
Okay, I'm going to keep an eye on this for just a little while longer and see if they actually come back in to talk about any actual legislative business, like who's going to be the House majority, who's going to be the president. Is there a House Majority Leader that has been declared yet, or are we still all playing guessing games? The cancel culture is going after every representative, every senator that may or may not have been in D.C. They are looking to get them removed. They're demanding that they resign for doing nothing more than standing up for their First Amendment rights. And if that is the case, then I want to see every member that is sitting there that went to every Black Lives Matters Antifa-driven protest this summer, went down to D.C. to make those kind of things happen. They all need to be removed from office. Also, you are not allowed to exercise your First Amendment rights anymore. They have been stricken away from you, if I am to follow what the far left's agenda is here in Alaska, trying to get representatives out there. Currently, David Eastman, they're trying to remove him from office for doing nothing more than going to D.C. and showing the world that he exercises his First Amendment rights and has every right to be there to peacefully protest the grievances that we have with our government when they are doing something wrong. They have currently put the Capitol under siege. They have 25,000 National Guardsmen sitting down there right now surrounding the Capitol. They have checkpoints that looks like Checkpoint Charlie. If you know the reference, then you'll understand what I mean. That you have to go through to even get close to the Capitol right now. They have the demilitarized green zone that they have out there. Is the best way to describe the example of what they have is Gaza would be another great example of what they've created going on around the Gaza Strip, going on around the Capitol there, where it's a no person zone. You know, we got to make sure you stay out of it. If you're in that area, you got to be authorized, otherwise you will be shot on sight. That's pretty much the going flow. Meanwhile, Black Lives Matters and Antifa in places like Portland and other places in Pennsylvania and a couple of other places out there are still rioting, looting, burning things down in those states and those cities, and that they have been at it actively since the 6th, before the 6th of January. This has not stopped for any of them. I've got video after video showing exactly what's going on. You will not see that on mainstream media, though. Mainstream media will not show you what is going on with those organizations and factions. Of course, Antifa does not exist in the minds of those running things. Let's see, are they, they're still at ease there on the screen. Hard to say what they're planning on doing next. It's one of those hurry up and wait games with this remote COVID type restrictions that they have. Funny watching them all pile out of the room so that they could give the swearing in oaths, because it's dangerous to be standing above the plastic partitions and doing your swearing in with that many people in the room. Too much of a chance of catching COVID. That's the reason why they let them all retire to their respective legislative offices, where they're going to be doing their remote legislating for all of us. You can see how well that's going to work out, especially when it comes time to debate a bill on the floor. How they're going to make and manage this to happen, I have no idea. I have not heard anything on their parts declaring that they're going to have any sort of Zooms being set up in each office, so that way that they can all participate by raising their hand and getting a chance to speak via Zoom. This will make it very much easier for whoever the House Majority Leader is to silence people out there when they want them to no longer talk. They just revoke their rights of being able to be on video. So it's going to be interesting to see how this all pans out over the next few months while they debate our state and capital budget there in Juneau. Again, the House has not aligned any majority yet, so we do not know who's in charge of the agenda there. The illegal binding caucus, from what I'm told, is going to be a huge part of what, whether or not that happens or not, is going to be a huge discussion that I know is leaning towards the Democrat corner again, and they claim they don't caucus, but that's a lie. The agenda we've watched driven for the last 6+ years has been a very far left driven agenda, and the Republicans have been the minorities, very obvious by the Alaska Republican minority. The House minority was Republicans, the Alaska House Republicans. They were the minority last year, and the year before that, and the year before that, and the year before that, even though we keep filling the legislative when it's time to vote, and we keep voting in Republicans, but they're not in charge of the agenda. The Senate majority has already been formed. Senator Pete Matici is the Senate president. Senator Shelley Hughes is the majority leader. Going to be interesting who gets on the rules committees, the finance committees, and all of that other stuff this year. I really do hope that they keep Senator Natasha Von Imhoff off of any of the Senate finance committees. She was the reason why we didn't see a stimulus check this last year, or our full PFD. She lobbied very hard, was very upset when they passed the stimulus the first time, and when the bill went into consolidation between the House and the Senate's different versions, she made sure it got ripped back out of there so that it was not part of the final vote. They're still at ease. I keep seeing him reach for his gavel. So it's just looks like about all of them are back in the room again now that they're no longer standing up. As long as they say sitting down when they talk, that's okay. But you cannot be standing up above the partitions when you go to talk, which is where the swearing-in ceremony made them, forced them all to be leaving the room. Again, like I said, it's going to be really interesting to watch what they do this year and how they handle things there. Hurry up and wait. Hurry up and wait. So, what are you guys all wanting to do out there this year? What agendas do you want to see passed in the Alaska House majority, Alaska Senate majorities? What kind of an agenda do you want to see for our state and capital budget, the future of Alaska, the direction that we take Alaska? Leave it in the comments. Most appreciated. Go to my website, www.politadick.com. Click that support button, and every penny goes right back into what I am doing here. We have done tons of upgrades from microphones, television, cell phones, websites, the unlimited of the potential that we have and that we have already accomplished thanks to your guys' support out there. Next thing we want to do with your support is to be able to take our live stream media on all channels at the same time. Facebook, YouTube, you name it. We want to be able to get out there and when we go live with what we've got going on behind us, we're live everywhere. Hope.
I think a person can receive. And the honor is the trust that Alaskans have bestowed on you to represent them to the best of your ability. And I do know most of you, and I look forward to meeting the rest of you, but I have complete confidence that you will not let your constituents down. Okay, also just again a friendly reminder that if you would like to come to my office for the traditional ceremonial photo, just please call my office for an appointment. We're trying to do the spacing thing. Okay, so with that, we've taken care of business. Nominations are now in order for Speaker Pro Tem of the House. Representative, oh, I'm sorry, you can't stand, can you? Representative Johnson.
Thank you, Mr. Lieutenant Governor. I move to nominate Representative Bart LeBon to serve as the Speaker Pro Tempore of the House.
Okay, so Representative LeBon has been nominated. Are there other nominations for Speaker Pro Tem? Okay.
Will now be closed.
Thank you, Representative Johnson. The nominations are closed, and if there is no other further nominations, we will then. Is there a motion for unanimous consent? Representative Johnson.
Thank you. I move unanimous consent to elect Bart LeBon, Representative Bart LeBon, as Speaker Pro Tem of the House of Representatives.
Okay. All right. Their motion's been made and objected to. So since we do have an objection, we will vote on this. Are we ready for the question? And the question is, shall Representative LeBon be elected Speaker Pro Tem of the 32nd Legislature? Members may proceed to vote. Will the clerk please lock the roll? Does any member
2020.
his
Oh, wow.
or vote? Okay. Will the clerk please announce the vote?
20 yeas, 20 nays.
So a vote of 20 yeas and 20 nays, Representative LeBon has not been elected as Speaker Pro Tem. Are there any other motions for Speaker Pro Tem? You guys must like me. Okay, with that, let's take a brief at ease.
Is anybody else out there surprised by that? They nominated Rep. Mark LeBon to be the Pro Tem Majority Leader, the person that is just temporarily in charge until they actually decide to elect someone to be the Pro Tem. So that there was an objection to him becoming the next Pro Tem at this current point in time, so they had to vote on it. It was split down the middle, 20-20. I am not surprised by this one bit. They have adjourned for the day. So it looks like they are still undecided in the House. It is once again back to where they were at before this all began. All right, thank you all for tuning in here today. Really do appreciate it. Don't forget to like and share. The House has adjourned for the day. They do not have a pro tem majority leader. They tried to push Mark LeBon as being the pro tem leader for the House. It was rejected by a split directly down the middle, 20-20, exactly as I was calling it a little bit earlier today. Louise Stutz has sided with the Democrats straight down the middle. That's the reason why it was 20-20. If she had stuck with the Republican Party that she was elected underneath, it would have been 21-19. and Mark Laban would have been resoundingly rejected at that point. In fact, his name would never have been brought up as a pro tem to begin with in the first place. It would have been somebody a lot different than just that. So this is going to be a very interesting year watching the House. There looks like they're starting out just like they had done last year, where Gary Knopp and quite a few of the other legislators that were out there, Kopp and Coghill and a few of the other ones, all those rhinos that we made sure got voted out, Representative Jennifer Johnson, those people. And they were removed for a reason, because they were consistently and constantly going over to the Democrats immediately and caucusing with them using the illegal binding caucus rule, and us that they're supposed to represent us Alaskans. They ignore our voices and our votes of what we have asked them to do, and they go directly on to the special interest agenda and screw you guys that voted for us. That's why they're not there this year. At least it looks like they got at least a strong start to this, to where they can't even get a pro tem in the interim to be able to run the majority in there at this point in time. So it'll be interesting to see how this all unfolds. Thank you all for tuning in here today. Go to my website, www.politadick.com. Click that support button. Every penny goes right back into doing what we're doing, and we just want to keep expanding to get the information out to you. Have a great afternoon.